Today's lesson is on molarity, which is a word that we use to represent concentration when it is measured in moles per litre. And the formula that we can use in order to make calculations for molarity is that concentration equals the number of moles of solute divided by the volume of solution, which has to be in litres. So let's try a practice question to see if we can use that formula in order to help us to answer this question. So here, what is the concentration of a solution prepared by dissolving 15 grams of sodium hydroxide in enough water to make a 250 ml solution? So on the side there, you can see that I have put in the molar mass of each of the elements that are in sodium hydroxide. And when you add them together, we get 40 grams. The reason we have to do that is because using this formula, we need to have the number of moles. And we are not given the number of moles of sodium hydroxide, we're given a mass. So before we can start using the concentration formula, we actually need to calculate what is the number of moles of the sodium hydroxide. And remember, we use this formula, the number of moles equals mass over molar mass. From the question, we can see that we have 15 grams of sodium hydroxide and the molar mass as worked out over here is 40 grams. So the number of moles that we have is 15 divided by 40, which gives us 0.375 moles. Now we can use our calculation there and put it back into this concentration formula. So we've got concentration equals, we've now worked out the number of moles is 0.375 and we're dividing that by the volume, but it has to be in litres and we're given it in mils. So we need to convert the mils to litres by dividing by 1,000, which means that we'll get 0.250 litres. And when we put that into our calculator, we end up with 1.5 and our measurements are in moles per litre. So that calculation was fairly straightforward, even though we did have to use our number of moles formula over here before we could use our formula for concentration. So let's try another example. This question is, what amount of sodium hydroxide must have been added to water to create 500 ml of solution with a concentration of 0.25 moles per litre? So this question is a little bit different in that it's actually asking us for the amount of sodium hydroxide rather than asking us to find the concentration. And when it's asking for amount, it's not asking for the number of moles, it's asking for how many grams of sodium hydroxide must have been added to the water. So again, remember our formula for working out the concentration, or the molarity, is concentration equals the number of moles over volume. From the question, we've been told that our concentration is 0.25 moles per litre. We don't know the number of moles of sodium hydroxide at this point, but our volume, our end volume of the solution is 0.5 litres. And remember that from the question, we're given it in mils, we need to convert it to litres, so that's why it's 0.5 litres. Now, if we rearrange this equation and we multiply both sides by 0.5, we can work out that the number of moles is 0.125. Now, if we sub that value into our other formula, our number of moles equals mass over molar mass. And remember, we worked out before that the molar mass is 40. And our number of moles is 0.125, which we just worked out down here. And again, if we rearrange and we times both sides by 40, we work out that the mass is 5 grams. So what amount of sodium hydroxide must have been added to water to create the 500 ml of solution with a concentration of 0.25 mol per litre? It is 5 grams. 5 grams of sodium hydroxide. And that's it.